Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So in this video, I will go over Lab 2, Part A, which is basically in Unit 2, I think. I'll show you how to complete this lab, and then you can maybe follow along if you have any issues with working on the lab. So the first thing we need to do is we should have PuTTY open. And here you will use the host name as either student1 or student2 depending on whichever server was told to you, whichever server your tutor told you to use. So for me, my account is created on student1. If your account is created on student2, you can use student2. So student1.vptest.cloud, and then I need to provide my credentials. So for you, your credentials should be capital A and then your student ID, whatever that student ID is, and then the followed by the password. But for me, it's my first name, so I'm going to be using my first name, and then my password, and there it is. So we will start with if you go through the lab, the initial pages of the lab, you will see the same has been shown to you how to go through it. How to open PuTTY and then how to log in and get to your server. So that all of that is done. Again, make sure you use capital A because Linux is case sensitive. And then we'll start with the first point here. Create a new directory named lab2 in path home student ID. Now, when this particular path is mentioned, just make sure that in Linux you have this this symbol, the wave symbol, that is represented for your home directory. That's like equivalent to /home and then your directory. So in this directory or in this folder, you're supposed to create another folder called lab2. For that, there's a command called mkdir. This is for make directory, but if you don't know how to use this command, you can just write man and then mkdir, which will open up the manual, which will tell you what is the command, what does it do, and then what are the different ways you can use these command. If you keep pressing space, it will go through the other pages of the manual, and when you're done reading the manual, you can just press Q and it will close the manual for you. For now, how do you create the directory? You just write mkdir and then the name of the directory, which is lab2, okay, as it was mentioned here. So that will create your directory. How do we verify if this directory is created? You can just do ls -l or ls ls alone. Anything should work. But you'll notice here in blue there is something called lab2. That is the directory that was created. Okay, and you can even see if it's a directory if it shows D in the beginning. Okay. Now the second thing you need to do is change your directory to this new folder. So now I want to go to this folder. I want to go inside this folder lab2. How do I do that? I will use the command cd, which is to change the directory to lab2. Okay, so cd lab2. This means go to lab2. And now you will notice here it says lab2. This means you are currently in your lab2 directory. Okay, now here you're supposed to create a file. So create a file named file1.txt and create another file named file2 but without .txt. And then use the ls command to check your work. What is the difference between the two files? So the first thing you need to do is create file1.txt. For that, you will use the command touch. So touch file1.txt. Touch basically creates an empty file with the name with whatever name you give it. Okay, so that's done. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so now if you issue the command ls, you can see you have a file within this directory or within this folder lab2. You have a file called file1.txt. You need to create another file. So touch file2. Is it called file2? Yeah, file2. But this time, don't put .txt. Okay, and then ls again now, or ls minus l. So you have one that's called file1.txt and another that's called file2. The only difference here is that the first one has an extension which is .txt and the other one does not have an extension. So when you try to open file2, the program will ask you which software you would want to use to open this file. Basically, the operating system will not know which software to use to basically open this file because it doesn't know what kind of a file it is. But for this one, it will probably open in a text, like a notepad software. Okay, that's the only difference. So again, you can find more differences, but that's like the primary difference between the two. So with that, we're done with A. Now for B, list the standard files and directories in lab2 directory in the long format, includes date and time. So if you do ls minus l, it shows you the long format. Your contents of your directory, which is the files and everything, it shows you all of that in the long format, meaning it also shows you the date and the time for that each particular file or folder. Okay, that's ls minus l. It shows all the standard directories. Now for the C part, you have to list all files in the lab2 directory in the long format. What do you see that's different to the output from part B? So we used ls minus l here, right? Here we're going to use ls minus al. Okay, what's the difference? Al, basically it shows the all the files in all the folders. So even if there is a hidden folder or a hidden file, if you use ls minus al, it will show that as well. Okay, the only difference between ls minus l and minus al is that with al it shows all the files, all the hidden files, all the hidden directories, but with minus l, that is omitted. Okay, now for D, we need to repeat step C, but this time redirect the output to a file named lab2 underscore q2.txt. So you have to repeat C. If you want to repeat a command that you've already written, you just press the up arrow key on your keyboard. So I'll press that key and it will show me my previous command that I issued. Okay, and then ls minus al, but you have to save this in a file called lab2q2.txt. So for output or for saving or for printing something to a file, we will use the angle bracket, which is greater than. Okay, so this is called the output redirection bracket. Output redirection. Okay, this is used to write or print something. So whatever is the output from ls minus al, print it to lab2 underscore q2.txt. Okay, now if you want to see whether the file has the correct output, you can use the more command and then lab2 q2.txt. When you type something and press tab, it will complete it for you. So for example, if you write lab2 and press tab, it will write the whole the whole name of the file. Okay, press enter and you will see it has the same output as it was shown before here. So this was the previous output with the command when we executed ls minus al, and when we try to read the file, it has the same output, or it has the same information stored. Okay, so now let's start with third question. So you have to change to the home directory. So if you want to go to the home directory, you can just write cd and then the wave that represents the home, and you're in your home directory. Okay, I'm not sure if they want you to go to home directory, the actual home directory, or your home directory. Okay, so we'll just stay here for now. So if it says home directory, just use this symbol, okay? And then list the standard files and directories in the current directory in a long format. So for standard files, which are not hidden basically, you just have to use ls minus l, just like in the previous question, and it will show you all the files and directories. And that's B. For C, you have to show all the files, including the hidden files and hidden directories. So ls minus al will show you the hidden directories. See, the dot dot are the hidden files and hidden directories. Anything that starts with a dot is basically hidden. Okay. So here you will see dot local, that means it's hidden. Dot Mozilla is hidden. These two are also hidden. Okay. So C is done as well. Repeat step C, but this time redirect the output to a file named lab2 underscore q3.txt. Okay, so here you have to issue the same command but redirect the output to lab2 q3.txt. Okay, and if you do ls again, you will see there is a new file lab2 q3. So more lab2 q3.txt stores the same information. Okay, now can you think of a way to complete part 3 while remaining in your lab2 directory? So now what they're trying to do or what they're trying to tell you to do is you go to lab2 directory, okay, and issue the same command that you used before, which was ls minus al, but this time you have to do it for the home directory. Okay, so for the home directory, show ls minus al, because if you just write ls minus al, it will show you everything for lab2 directory. But if you want to show it for another directory, you have to write that particular directory. So the wave symbol represents your home directory, because you need to show all the files in the home directory, right? So you will do that, ls minus al home directory, redirect that output to lab2 q3.txt. And if you write lab2 q3.txt, it has the same output as the previous file, as the one that we created before here. Okay, so that is done as well. Now you have to display your current working directory. How do you display that? pwd. Okay, so it shows you, oh, you're in this particular directory. pwd is print working directory. So for 4b, you have to try to enter the directory of a fellow student, can you? Okay, so where are the directories for all the students? As discussed in the class, all the directories for every student, or basically all the accounts for all the users on the server, are under the home directory. Not your home directory, but under a directory called home. So if you cd to/home, okay, and you do ls minus l, you will see that there are folders for each of the students. You'll see A and then all the IDs. But let's try to go to one of the student accounts. So maybe I will have the permission. I don't know if you will have the permission, but if I try to go to, let's say, cd A202204 598 04598. See, permission denied. I cannot go to a directory, or I cannot go to the folder that is for another user. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the purpose of telling you to do this. You will not be able to access another student's folder or directory. Okay, so C is what, change your directory back to home, your ID, and then lab 2. So cd lab 2. Okay. And now if you show pwd, you're in the same folder that they want you to be in. Here you're supposed to type the following command: echo Unix is great. So you will write echo Unix is great, and then redirect it to a file called lab2q5.txt. Okay, ls or ls minus I minus l. I like it better because it shows you as a list. So you have q2, q3, and q5. Confirm that the file has been created using the appropriate command. So this was the command that you should use, ls minus l, to check if it was created, and then redirect and then append the output of this command to q5txt. So if you just write one arrow, it will add to the file. For example, here lab2 q5, you have basically, okay, so here you already have lab2q5txt and they're asking you to append to the same file. If a file exists and you use this output redirection, what happens is it will remove everything that is there in the file and type the output from this from the beginning. So everything that was already there previously is now erased and you only have the new information. In order to avoid erasing it and adding the information to the end of the file, you're supposed to use two output redirections. This means it will keep whatever information was there in the file already and just add the new information at the end of the file. So this will be redirected to lab2 q5txt. Now if I try to read or try to see what is there in lab2 q5.txt, it has Unix is great, which was already there, the first thing that we wrote, and then it also has, it also has the information from ls minus l, or just ls. You can even do ls only, that's up to you. Okay, so that is, I think, it for the fifth question. Now you're supposed to retrieve the lab files q2, q3, and q5 files from the Unix server using FTP. So how do we do this? First of all, I will exit from here and then I will go to PSFTP. If you don't have this, you're supposed to download it. But if you have it, then just use it right away. So here you have to write open and then your server or host name. So if you're on student 1, you will write student1.bptest.cloud, otherwise student2.bptest.cloud. So bptest.cloud. Okay, and then your normal login. So it will be capital A for you. It will be capital A. Oops, sorry. It will be capital A 20, whatever your student ID is. For me, it's my first name. And then my password. Now it will show that it is, if it's successfully logged in, it will show you that your current working directory. So here, the first thing you need to do is you need to change your local directory. So you will write lcd and then whatever you'll find your let's say your desktop folder. Okay, so for that you have to write, I think, C users, your username, and then desktop. Okay, whatever, for me this is my username, but you have to check your desktop, where is it located. You can go to, I'm not sure if I should be showing this, but you can go to this particular place, like open your file explorer and go to this PC, C drive, users, find your username, and then find the desktop folder. So once you get it, you can just copy, okay, copy this whole thing and paste it there. Okay, that should be it. And then you can use the ls command. You can see which directory has what here as well. So I need to get all my files from lab2 folder, right? So I will say get lab2 slash lab2. Okay, let's do ls first. ls lab2. Okay, so now get lab2, the first folder, which is the outer folder, lab2 slash lab2 q2.txt, the same for q3 and the same for q5. Okay, now I will have, if I, one second. Okay, I have these. So this one, and then this one. You just zip these, send to, where is send to? Send to compressed zipped folder. Okay, and then you are supposed to name them lab, sorry, lab 2, lab 2, and then underscore your student ID, whatever your student ID is. Okay, and then just upload this file to Moodle. That's it. Okay, if you have any questions, you can email me. I'll try to answer as best as I can, as fast as I can. But that's how you're supposed to do. Again, for the SFTP, you can use this guide. Whatever I showed you in a PSFTP is exactly mentioned here as well. Okay, so if you have any issues, you can let me know. Okay, and then at the end, just close. Oh, exit. Okay. So thank you and all the very best.